Hello, Melanin Monarchy citizens. This is your Queen Monique here with another episode, and this time we're doing a film review, and the film that we're reviewing is Wonka. So let's get into this review.
I've spent the past 7 years traveling the world perfecting my craft. You see, I'm something of a magician, inventor, and chocolate maker. So quiet up and listen down. Nope, scratch that, reverse it.
Mr. Wonka, I can see you're a man of great ingenuity.
What are you doing?
I'm making chocolate, of course. How do you like it? Dark, white, nutty, absolutely insane.
Many people have come here to sell chocolate. They've all been crushed by the chocolate cartel. You can't get a shop without selling chocolate, and you can't sell chocolate without a shop.
If you're new here at this channel, what we do is we commentate on live music, films, and other creatives, all with a strong emphasis on Depeche Mode. So let's go ahead and get into this film review. We're talking about Wonka. Yes, the 2023 version of Wonka. The 1971 version, famously with Gene Wilder, and then 30 or so years later, we have the 2005 Tim Burton version of Wonka with Johnny Depp. But here, almost 20 years later, we have another Roald Dahl Wonka telling. This time, this is supposed to be the origin story. So it stars a whole heap load of great actors. We have actors like Olivia Colman, who I absolutely loved her before The Crown. I loved her when she was in Hot Fuzz. We also have Patterson Joseph, who's an absolutely amazing actor. We have Keegan-Michael Key, fellow Detroit native. We have Rowan Atkinson, Sally Hawkins, and we also have Hugh Grant. Also starring as Wonka is the wonderful and musically talented Timothée Chalamet. Yes, I'm going to call him Timothy. You guys can't stop me. I'm calling him Timothy. So basically what this story is about, it follows Wonka from his beginnings to why he decided to become a chocolatier. So Wonka is born basically with as part of the boat people community, Gypsies, boat people. I'm not sure if you guys are a separate community. Don't mean to offend. You're a separate community, but he's born with the boat people. We learned that his mother dies at a young age when he's fairly young. As all good Disney protagonists, they lose either both parents or one parent sometime in their life, right? No different here. So Wonka's mother passes away. And because she passes away, he decides to become basically a sailor. From time he was a little boy until he becomes an adult, he's sailing the seas. And this is where he perfects his chocolate recipe. He perfects being a chocolatier. So now he's ready to do away with his sea legs. He's ready to go on land and start his business. He's unfamiliar with the territory that he comes in, and he quickly gets in trouble. He gets duped into a contract and becomes basically an indentured servant to a bunch of crooks. And also stopping him from fulfilling his dream of becoming a chocolatier are three big businessmen who have cornered the market. They have a monopoly on the candy and the chocolate making process. And Mr. Slugworth, played by Patterson Joseph, is definitely the lead honcho in trying to keep Willy Wonka from fulfilling his dream. Now, while Willy Wonka is trying to navigate this unfamiliar territory as becoming a new businessman, he meets a young orphan by the name of Noodle who helps him navigate through this process. Now, I got really excited about this film when I first sat down and started watching it, because I thought that the film was going to be an encouragement for young entrepreneurs, young dreamers, who giving them some encouragement and maybe some strategies to use when you're trying to start a business brand new. This was not that. It was something else. So in the film, you have the antagonists, which are the chocolatiers, the other people in business, and they're referred to in the film as the cartel. Yes, they refer to these businessmen as the cartel. Now they're greedy, they're rich, they're greedy, they're all the same type of bad men or bad people as you can encounter as nemesis in the film. This film actually looks a lot like if you married Annie with Nicholas Nickleby. It's kind of like Charles Dickinson wrote this script, right? That's what it feels like, right? You got the orphan, you have the people who are oppressing or enslaving the orphan, and who's always trying to scheme and do something, and then you have the big people who really just want to look like they're doing something for the community, but they're really not. Anyway, so Wonka's a nice young guy. He's on his land, and so he's meeting these people he has the people that are trying to help him, including this young orphan person. Her name is Noodle, and also he has to somehow overcome these antagonists. Wonka himself, his character is very, very friendly, very, very aloof, very, very genteel, and all he wants to do is do magic with his chocolate, make people happy, make people smile. He somehow believes that this is going to resurrect or reincarnate or something like that his mother. It's very weird because he believes his mother is going to come back if he's successful. That's what it is. All right, so now let's get into Hugh Grant. I'm going to talk about Hugh Grant just a little bit. Now, Hugh Grant is an Oompa Loompa. He comes in at the middle of the film. I was a little bit kind of, I didn't know how to feel about Hugh Grant playing the Oompa Loompa when I was going into this film. I kind of thought, well, this can't go well. Can't see Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa. But how wrong was I? Hugh Grant did an amazing job as the Oompa Loompa. Now, I think this is because Hugh Grant basically just played Hugh Grant. He's snarky, sarcastic, posh, know-it-all, devious. I just basically think maybe Hugh Grant just played Hugh Grant. But he still did an amazing job. Now, the relationship between Wonka and the Oompa Loompa takes a little bit of a different storytelling than the 1971 and the 2005 versions. In those versions, Willy Wonka encounters the Oompas on the Oompa Loompa land, and he's there and he sees that their life is not the easiest, and he convinces them that if they come back with him and work with him, that he can protect them from the other elements of their land. In the first 1971 version, it was the Snozwanglers and the Vermicious Knids. I forget what they call them in the 2005 version. That's not the telling of the story here. In this version, Wonka unknowingly stole the chocolate beans, the cocoa beans, right, that he uses to make his chocolate. Now, the Oompa Loompa that was in charge of protecting and guarding those chocolate beans fell asleep, and that was Hugh Grant's character. His character, Lofty Oompa Loompa. So his punishment for allowing somebody to come on their land and steal the chocolate beans was to be exiled from Oompa Loompa land. So he's been basically stalking Wonka, trying to sabotage him this whole time because Wonka stole the chocolate beans. Now, Wonka had no idea that this was going on. He knew that an Oompa Loompa was following him. He just didn't know why. Okay? So that's the telling that they have with the Oompa Loompas. Now, let's get into Monique's opinion of this film. Now, remember, you guys, this is a retelling of the story. It's not supposed to be like the Roald Dahl books. It's just supposed to be another story. When I first heard that they were doing another Wonka, anytime the studios or Hollywood or the studios are revamping or rebooting a famous classic film, my question is always, why? Why? Why are they doing this? What's the point? Why are they doing this? Now, one of my suspicions is that Timothy he's amazing. He sings amazing. He does an amazing job. But Timothy still looks like a little boy. He still looks childish. He's 28, 29 years old, but he can still pass for a 15, 16-year-old person. And I think that the people in his camp, they're trying to use his youthfulness, his baby face, his youthfulness as much as possible. And he's okay with that. He's a working actor, but he's also an amazing actor. I've seen him in The King. I've seen him in this Woody Allen film that he did. Woody Allen. I know we shouldn't probably be watching any more Woody Allen films, but it was amazing. Timothy was in one of these Woody Allen films, and he was also starred with Steve Carell in Beautiful Boy. If you guys have not seen Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell, it is by far, it is amazing. You should definitely check it out. Plus, my brother was in that film. So, but Timothy has been doing an amazing job, and he does an amazing job with this too. I can't wait till Dune Part 2 comes out. But for Wonka, you do believe that he can be Wonka. What I don't believe is that this is a Wonka story. I don't believe that this is something that's Wonka. I don't think that it was, they did a great enough job, because I have questions about this particular telling of the story. Now, the people, the chocolatiers that they call the cartel, they don't want Wonka to be successful, is because Wonka has a superior product. It's kind of like, because they call them the cartels, right? So when you think about the cartels, you think about drug cartel or big pharma. Same thing, right? Just the same thing. But Wonka, he has a better product, and they want to keep the monopoly, but Wonka's product also makes you high. Like literally, you're floating in the air. You're floating in the air when you eat his chocolate, right? Now, it's also, you can see it in this film that everybody in the town is somewhat addicted to this chocolate, or addicted to the candy. They're addicted to candy or chocolate, period, right? So much so that these cartel, the chocolate cartel, as they're referred to in the film, are able to buy the police and also the church. So you have a corrupt police who are supposed to protect and serve, and you also have a corrupt church, right? Who also, in a sense, are supposed to protect and serve, right? Because protect and serve widows and orphans, right? Because you do have an orphan that's in this film, but there you have it. You have the church and the police working with these greedy, terrible businessmen to keep little old Willy Wonka from starting his business, right? So Willy Wonka is kind of like the local weed man who has a superior product, and they don't want the local weed man muscling in on their territory. So it sounds kind of like a gang war to me. Anyway. So in the film, as I mentioned before, Wonka is an illiterate man. He's illiterate. He can't read. This is how he gets into a lot of his sticky situations. But to the rescue is a little 10-year-old girl who's an orphan, who was brought up by these scammers and who oppresses her and makes her work like a slave night and day in their little business that they got going on. Somehow, she's a genius, and she knows how to read, do math, do all kinds of accounting, and can strategize and help Wonka. Now, there's some other characters that also help Wonka and Noodle the little girl try to thwart these businessmen, take them down so that Willy Wonka can begin his business, and they end up being successful, right? What's hard to believe is that everything, this story is just really, really hard to believe. It's just really, why? Now, it's also hard to believe that Hugh Grant, because he was exiled, his character, how are you going to convince the rest of the Oompa Loompas to work for Willy Wonka when he's a thief? It's like a third world country. This guy, we won't say what his complexion is, comes to your land, takes your precious metals and ores, and you end up slaving away the whole community, the whole population of this land ends up slaving away to help him make chocolate, cocoa beans, work in the field. I don't know, whatever. So if you want to go ahead and see this film, you're a Wonka fan, you're a Timothy fan, then it's worth it. The film, the budget was $125 million. It is grossing over $500 million so far. Don't know why, but it has. It's grossed a lot. Now, some of these numbers are not always as honest, but I do believe that it has grossest amount of money. Again, this film is interesting. The storytelling is interesting. The acting is amazing because they knew what they were doing. They knew that they were choosing wonderful and great actors. They knew what they were doing when they were choosing Timothy, because Timothy has a beautiful face. He's a great singer. All the young girls like him. The little girls are going to go out and they're going to go see this grown man pretending to be 15, 16 years old. And they're going to go see this film that's promoting this product that makes you fly, like get high and fly, right? The bad people, the greedy people, they make you fat, but somehow Willy Wonka, he makes you happy and fly, and you get amazing things that happen in your life. What it doesn't do, it doesn't tell you why Wonka changed. Like, it doesn't lead into why he changed, why he kind of dislikes children, because it's obvious in the 1971 versions and the 2005 versions that Wonka really doesn't care for little kids all that much. He really doesn't. He thinks they're snotty and disgusting. Even though he knows he needs to find an heir, somebody childlike, to take over his business, but it appears that he really doesn't like children. But here, we don't see why Wonka would have turned out to be that person. So that's going to be interesting. So I want to dedicate this particular review to Sally. Sally, thank you for basically encouraging me to go see this film and to not settle on any opinion until I've seen the film, right? So I want to thank you for that. Now, this is a part of the episode where we do the 7 degrees of Depeche Mode. And 7 degrees of Depeche Mode is where we link the artist or the subject matter, to our beloved Depeche Mode in 7 steps or less. So here we go. Hugh Grant, who played the Oompa Loompa, is rumored to be the model of the People Are People album cover. So the single People Are People from Depeche Mode, the album cover, is rumored that Hugh Grant was a model. You can't see his face or anything like that. But that is Hugh Grant's arm, Hugh Grant's body in the cover of the People Are People from Depeche Mode. Very simple. Didn't have to go very far like before. So there you have it. There's our 7 degrees of Depeche Mode. You guys, I am so very glad that you came along with me for this review. And if you have any other films that you'd like for me to review, definitely go ahead and put that in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do all that wonderful stuff. When you do that, it lets me know that this content is valuable to you. It lets me know that you are getting inspired, you're getting educated, you're getting some new information. It is valuable and it's taking up some really, really good time in your life, and it's a blessing to you. So that's what liking, subscribing, sharing, that's what it does for me. So again, thank you so much for coming along with me with this review of the 2023 Wonka film. See you next time. Toodle pip.